Is the American Renaissance a real hope, or just an illusion? Follow this story in the current context. In recent years, the United States has faced a series of challenges that have made its people reflect on the nation's trajectory. From massive debt to a lethal pandemic, from mass immigration to rising crime rates, everything seems to echo warnings from the past. In the Old Testament, God warned Israel that if they abandoned his laws, 5 consequences would fall upon them: national debt, an influx of foreigners, the spread of deadly diseases, rising lawlessness, and increased natural disasters. Throughout Israel's history, we see a pattern of straying from divine laws, idolatry, and consequent divine judgment. King Josiah stands out as a remarkable example of this cycle. Upon discovering God's law, he publicly repented and acknowledged the Lord's wrath upon the people. Today we observe concerning parallels with the situation in the United States, prompting us to reflect on the role of faith and obedience to divine laws amid contemporary challenges. If my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven, and I will forgive their sin and will heal their land. 2 Chronicles 7:14. This verse resonates as a powerful reminder that God is always willing to restore a nation when there is genuine repentance and a sincere pursuit of his presence. Are the United States, as a nation, ready to answer this call? The American Renaissance has been seen as a reflection of a society searching for lost values. In recent years, we have witnessed a spiritual awakening in the United States, where individuals and communities have sought to recover the fundamental principles that guided the nation at its inception. This renaissance is not limited to the religious sphere, but extends to the social, political, and cultural realms. There is a revival of patriotism, an appreciation for individual freedom, and a recovery of national identity. The quest for lost values and the reconnection with historical roots seem to be at the heart of this renaissance, charting a path of hope and transformation for the American nation. Amid the challenges faced by the United States, the practice of prayer and the renewal of faith have stood out as essential elements in the pursuit of national restoration. Religious leaders, activists, and citizens have united in moments of intercession across the country, calling for divine guidance and spiritual renewal. The need to return to the religious and moral values that founded the nation has been widely debated, revealing a collective yearning for divine intervention in times of uncertainty and turmoil. In this context, faith is seen not only as a personal belief, but as a fundamental pillar for rebuilding national identity and strengthening social cohesion. The transformative power of prayer has been perceived not just as an individual practice, but as a collective act capable of shaping the destiny of a nation seeking hope and restoration. Reflecting on the consequences of ungodly behavior and idolatry in Israel's trajectory and its possible analogy with the current reality of the United States, we find parallels. Departing from divine precepts and pursuing false gods led Israel to face moments of crisis and desolation, resulting in severe punishments. Similarly, American history can serve as a mirror to understand how spiritual and moral negligence can trigger a self-destructive cycle in society. The weight of individual and collective choices on future consequences is a central theme of this reflection, highlighting the importance of striving for righteousness and ethical values as pillars for a prosperous and just nation. In analyzing the signs of divine blessing and the warnings present in the American nation, we must go beyond material prosperity and health as clear evidence. It is essential to consider spiritual and moral aspects. The preservation of fundamental values such as justice, compassion, and truth reflects the presence of divine blessing in a nation. On the other hand, natural disasters, leadership crises, and social injustices can be interpreted as warnings of an urgent need for change and repentance. We invite you to reflect on these aspects and consider how the relationship between the American nation and divine influences impacts its present and future. In light of natural challenges and calamities, we question the divine presence in adversities. When catastrophes such as hurricanes, fires, and droughts devastate a nation, doubts arise about God's will amidst human suffering. The complexity of these events leads us to reflect on the role of the divine in controlling nature and providing support to humanity in times of distress. Interpreting these disasters as manifestations of divine wrath, or simply as part of the natural order, is a recurring theme in theological and philosophical discussions. How can we find comfort and meaning in tragedies that challenge our understanding? The search for answers invites us to explore the intersection between the supernatural and the everyday, shedding light on the mysteries that permeate our existence. The relationship between divine commandments and the consequences of disobedience reminds us how Israel's history can serve as a warning for the American nation. The commandments represent not only a moral code, but also a covenant between the people and God, outlining the fundamental principles that govern a just and harmonious society. When Israel strayed from these laws, they faced not only divine punishments, but also the breakdown of social and moral order. Similarly, the violation of commandments can be seen as an invitation to chaos and decay. The true greatness of a nation lies in its obedience to divine precepts and respect for justice and righteousness. Reflecting on the importance of the commandments as a guide for a prosperous and compassionate society reveals the spiritual roots of the American nation and its trajectory towards spiritual fulfillment. The urgency of collective conversion and repentance as a solution to the current challenges of the American nation is evident. In a time marked by political divisions, social conflicts, and economic uncertainties, the need for spiritual transformation becomes clear. Unity around ethical and moral values, acknowledgement of past mistakes, and commitment to genuine change present themselves as paths to reconciliation and healing of social wounds. The voice of collective conscience calls for justice, compassion, and integrity at the highest levels of power and in every citizen. Only through a profound and sincere spiritual awakening will it be possible to envision a future of hope and prosperity for the American nation. Let us explore these fundamental issues about the history, spirituality, and destiny of the United States together. Turn on notifications to not miss any episodes.